the most important thing I've learned is that educators are the experts in their own field. They are the folks on the ground doing this work. Ask them what they need, listen to them. We have the position to procure funding for what they need. That's the way it should work. The project is called the Institute for Louisiana Culture and History. It essentially is a hub of resources for K-12 public school social studies teachers in Louisiana. We leverage an existing resource that the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities has called 64 Parishes, which is our digital encyclopedia all about Louisiana. And we have tailored it specifically to the social studies standards in the state, both at an adult reading level and then at grade level as well for the students of Louisiana. What we also do is workshops that take that resource and talk about, great, so now you're an expert in Reconstruction in Louisiana. How do you teach that to a 7th grader? So we work with experts across the state to showcase strategies and sample lessons, et cetera, for teachers to feel more empowered using their social studies standards. So every 7 years, the Louisiana Department of Education updates those social studies standards. And for the 20-ish years ahead of last year, they were about the same. So Louisiana history in particular lived in a little bit in 3rd, mainly in 8th grades. And then last year's social studies standards just kind of threw everything out, introduced all new content, and Louisiana history is taught chronologically throughout time with the rest of history, starting in kindergarten, moving up through 12th grade. So you had 6th grade teachers who had taught world history for 20 years, and then in a year were asked, great, can you now become an expert on French colonial Louisiana? And so they have all new material, and in order to teach that material, they first have to learn that material. And so this was born through partnership with the Louisiana Department of Education, saying, we have this existing resource. What can we do to make this lift easier for educators? It was a huge change. We've seen great effect with working with teachers across the state. We've now reached 43 of Louisiana's 64 parishes. Other states call those counties. We call them parishes. So that's about 70% of the state in a year using these materials to help them in the classroom. So we've done to date, because this is an ongoing project that began in 2023, we've hosted 8 workshops. So we have summer intensive workshops that are 3 days at our headquarters in New Orleans, where we bring teachers in, we pay them a stipend thanks to a grant from the Patrick F. Taylor Foundation, which is an educational foundation in Louisiana. We pay for the hotel, we pay for meals, et cetera. I really want the only lift for these teachers to be like, I'm asking for their time, I'm asking for their attention, but I don't want them to have to give anything else up. So our main thing, the meatiest part really is this summer intensive in New Orleans. And then throughout the school year, we travel across the state so that we can bring these materials to folks all over the place, because we know it's also an ask, that's a lot of time to come down to New Orleans if you're in, for example, Caddo Parish, a 5-hour drive away. We have worked with about 250 teachers, and through our online resources, we reach about 1 million page views every year on 64 parishes. But we know we've reached about 90,000 students with those sources. It's been really incredible, especially in the workshops, watching these teachers learn some of this information for the first time. I'm from Louisiana. I took Louisiana history, and now as an adult, I'm learning things that I was not taught in school because the standards were different. And so watching these folks as Louisianans learn about their own state, B, as educators who get to roll this out to their mostly middle school classrooms. But C, I think the most special part for me has been watching the educator's confidence grow. It's not something that I necessarily anticipated, but it's been the most rewarding part of all of this, because, if you think about, again, if you've been teaching the same thing for 20 years, you're asked to do something else, that's hugely terrifying. And so to be able to empower folks through these resources, which are always free, they're digital, which means they can be updated when new scholarship comes out, or, the way we talk about history as it should changes. So we want to make sure that we are updating the way we talk about historical events in Louisiana. Watching educators realize there is a place online they can go, or there's a community with these workshops that they can come to feel more confident in the classroom has been especially rewarding. And watching them, folks from across the state, form a cohort together. People from as I say, 5 hours away from each other, realizing they're going through these same struggles and worries and anxieties, watching them form groups and lean on each other was not part of the plan and is now definitely, among my highest priorities when we do these workshops. We plan on continuing all of that work, but we want to see where else this can go. We want to see how else we can help teachers. So we work with an external evaluator to get that feedback, to always ask, what else can we bring you? How else can we help you? How else can we support you in the classroom? One of those asks has been lesson plans. And so we've now been working with some independent curriculum and instructional specialists to pilot some sample lessons using the resources that we already have.